Hello and welcome to my channel, Talisman Tarot. In this reading I want to ask the cards and Spirit directly through channeling about your future child, how your future child will perceive you, how they will see you as a mother, and also how they will perceive their childhood with you. And so, yeah, and I have 5 groups that you can choose from. This will be group number 1, this will be group number 2, this will be group number 3, this will be group number 4, and this will be group number 5. And so I will ask you to use your intuition and choose the group that speaks to you the most, the group that catches your eye, and that group will be your group. And if you need any more time to choose, you can always just pause the video. But if you don't need any more time, I'll just move on to the reading. Hello, group number 1. You chose the Wonderland Tarot, and I will start with some channeling and then I will shuffle the cards for you. So, okay, group number 1, the people who will choose group number 1. How will group number 1's future child see group number 1, perceive group number 1? Okay, so I think your future child will see you as quite loving and affectionate, and so that's a positive thing. But there is a certain distance emotionally, but not towards your child, your future child. It's more towards other people. So I think your future child is going to see you as like a very good mother to them, but they will see you as very distant towards other people, and so. And I'm hearing something about a ghost from the past. So I feel like your future child will see you as someone who's very affected by a ghost from the past. So something from the past might affect you in the future, and I think your future child is going to pick up on that. And I'm actually sensing that your future child is probably going to be quite sensitive, and quite maybe to the psychic side. Maybe your future child will have an extra sense, this. They will be able to sense things, and they will be able to sense if there's something bothering you, even if you don't talk about it. And so I think from a very early age, I think your future child is going to notice that something from the past is still affecting you when but it's but I'm sensing that your future child is going to have very positive a very positive view of you. They will be very close to you. I am sensing that this person, this future child, is likely going to be female, but it's I don't completely know if that's true, but I am just seeing a female in front of me, so it's very likely female. And yeah, so I think I think your future child is going to feel like you might have some trust issues towards other people. I am sensing, and I hate to say this because, well, well, for some of you, it's not necessarily all of you. I do see that maybe some of you will raise this child on your own. So maybe that's why your future child is going to pick up on some trust issues, because you probably will be a bit distant from others because you don't want to start a new relationship because the other relationship didn't end on great terms, and so it's I don't know. Yeah, the Lovers reversed. I think your future child is going to feel like you give them a lot of affection, but you don't give love a chance, like in your love life. And so I think your future child is going to see you as a hopeless romantic in some way. Like you not that you, but you just don't give love a chance. And maybe you choose. Maybe some of you will choose to actually have a child on your own by going to a sperm bank or something like that, and so yeah, I think your future child is like your future child is not going to have any complaints about that necessarily, but they will feel like you didn't actually give love a proper chance. And I'm actually like this child is very empathetic, very empathic, really, very, like, and a bit self-sacrificing in a way. So maybe but like I think your future child is going to be more sad on your behalf that you're a single mom, and not really sad about their own situation. So yeah. So what will how will your future child perceive you? Group number 1. King of Flamingos. So yeah, I think there could be some there could be some coldness here. Like I think your future child will see you as someone who has everything under control. Everything will be right in and organized, and everything will be as it should be. I feel like your future child is going to grow up without any like there won't be any obstacles around them, because you will make sure that there aren't any obstacles. You will have everything under control. You will make sure that they make their homework in the right time, and all of that. You will. I feel like you will be quite organized as a mom, and maybe you feel like that's not something you can see for yourself. Like you might feel like you're not that organized right now, but I think motherhood will make you very organized. And like I think you will prepare meals and stuff like that, and be very like you will think ahead and plan ahead. And I think you will compensate for the like. I know I've been talking about the single mom thing, and I know that it probably doesn't sound very good for the majority of you, but that is something I see, and maybe it doesn't apply to you exactly. Like maybe it's specific for a few of you. I hope, because of course it's not very easy to be a single mom. But maybe I think you will actually realize that maybe you would prefer it over actually having a partner, because I think you are actually more effective on your own. And I think like you can see how this king here, he's not very tall, so he stands on a stool, and so it kind of makes me think that like your future child is going to see you as someone who, even though you have some like even though you can't do everything on your own, because of certain practicalities, I don't know, but you try very hard to be able to do everything on your own, and so I feel like, yeah, you don't need a man. Like if you're a woman, you don't need a man, because you don't need someone tall to help you get the things from the top shelf, because you can just get a stool. Like you can fix the problems on your own, in your own way. You can find solutions to the things that you can't do by trying to make up a solution, and think creatively. And I think your future child is going to actually admire that about you, that you have the skill to think creatively, think in solutions. You're good at coming up with solutions to problems, and maybe you have the tendency to do everything on your own, and you never ask anyone for help, and maybe you're already that way now, and I think that probably won't change when you get a child, and that's a good quality. But when you have a child, it might be good to to teach your child that it's actually not a bad thing to ask for help once in a while, because like even though it's good to raise your child to become independent, and you do that by setting an example, by being an independent role model to your child, but I think you could maybe balance it out by maybe also teaching your child to ask for help from others, and showing them that by maybe starting now to train yourself in actually putting yourself out there and asking people for help with certain things, even if you don't actually need the help. But maybe it's a good exercise to do, so that you can show your child that it's okay. And you can't show your child that it's okay if you don't believe it's okay, and so you have to kind of learn to be okay with asking for help. And if you're not okay with it now, then yeah. And I get it. I'm not okay with asking for help myself, and so I think many of us have that quality to us, that it can be an obstacle, but it can also be a blessing. But mostly an obstacle, because we're not supposed to do everything on our own. So no one is an island. We need other people in our lives, and yeah. And also, like I thought about the round glasses, and it made me think of John Lennon for some reason. So, and the lyrics played in my mind while I was looking at the card. Give peace a chance. And so, I think your future child might see you as someone who has a tendency to hold a grudge against people, and I think your future child really wants you to be able to let go of that. And maybe you have a bit of a cold relationship to your family, for instance. Maybe you don't really get along with them, maybe they don't support you, maybe they don't treat you that nicely, and maybe some of you have cut contact with certain family members because you just don't want the negativity in your life. But for the sake of your future child, you might want to resolve those issues. Maybe not now, but maybe in the future, just so that because I think your future child is going to be quite hypersensitive, and so they will pick up on the negativity around you, and I think they will just want everyone to get along, and like I think your future child is going to be kind of like a peacemaker. Someone who just wants maybe a bit of a people pleaser, which is okay, but maybe it's something you need to work on, so that they can maybe not sacrifice themselves all the time. It's okay to be self-sacrificing sometimes, but maybe not. Maybe don't let it become their identity, if that makes sense. So yeah, so if you have some grudges, maybe try to find a solution to those. Maybe, of course, if your family is fucked up and you just don't want that in your life, well, you don't have to find a solution right now. But do it for the sake of your child, because your child has to hang out with your family anyways. And so if there's always going to be bad blood between you and your family, it will make it will create like a big black cloud every time you meet your family. And so see if you can resolve some of those issues. And I'm sensing that your future child is going to be a water sign. And so I think your future child is going to be very emotionally intelligent. They will pick up on people's feelings, on how people, all the things that people don't say. They will pick up on those. And you're maybe more of an earth sign or an air sign, and so you might have that coldness, that stubbornness, and that distancing. Like it might be quite easy for you to distance yourself from others, but it's not easy for your future child to do the same, because they really want everyone to just get along, and and that everyone just has, and it's a bit naive but I think I feel like your future child just wants everyone to hold hands, like the whole world to hold hands, and everyone getting along, and everyone having a nice time, and everyone being nice and kind to each other, and everyone hugging each other, and everyone just. But of course it is a bitter world, but we are also creating this bitterness by not looking at the world with these beautiful, naive eyes. And so maybe find some of that naivety in you, to maybe think, maybe see the good in everyone, even though you might need to peel a certain amount of layers to get to the goodness within certain people. But there is good in everyone, and so we just have to find it. And yeah, but yeah, so but other than that, I think your future child is going to have a very positive view on you. They will see you as a very loving and caring mother towards them. And that's what matters. And very organized. And I think you will actually give them a very safe environment, a very safe childhood, where everything is in order, and maybe you had a bit of a chaotic childhood yourself, and I think you will do the opposite as what you went through, and I think you will succeed at doing that and giving your child the opposite of what you were going through, and yeah. And yeah, so it's a positive reading actually, and so it's good. But that's all I have for you, group number 1. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. Hello, group number 2. You chose the Cook's Tarot deck, and I want to start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. So, okay, group number 2. The people who will choose group number 2. How will group number 2's future child perceive group number 2? I'm sensing that your future child is likely going to be a boy. But not necessarily. But I think there is something here where I feel like your future child is not going to be like, they will take you a bit for granted. And like I think I hate to say this, but I feel like your future child is probably going to prefer their father, if you're a mother, than their father over you, or if you're a female, I mean. But that's very, very normal, because if your future child is going to be a boy, he will have more in common with his dad, and he will be able to relate more to his dad. And I'm also sensing like a good cop, bad cop situation where your partner, your future partner, is going to act as the good cop, and that's going to force you into acting like the bad cop all the time. And so I think the blame might actually be on your future partner, because I think your future partner will put you in situations where you will have to be the bad guy. You will have to be the one who's like the party pooper. Like this is the type of your future partner is the type of person who, like for instance, they could ask you, or they could tell you that they would prefer it if you put the child to bed earlier than usual, because your future partner wants to do some work from home, and they want peace and quiet to be able to work. But then when it's near the bedtime, they will tell the child that, oh, you can stay up late it does. Don't think about me. It doesn't bother me while I'm working that you're screaming in my ear. It doesn't bother me. It probably bothers your mom. It's her. She's the villain here. I'm not. And then you will have to take that blame on you and be the villain and put the screaming child to bed, and the child will hate you forever for it. But really, you were just doing what your partner commanded you to do, because it was your partner's wish, but you had to be the executioner, like you had to do it. So yeah, so I feel like your future child is going to see you as the one who's always a party pooper, the one who's always nagging, the one who's always making them do things they don't want to do, and yeah, you will have that role as the controlling, annoying mother, or father if you're a male, while your partner will just have a free pass and be the fun parent, and be the one always doing all the fun things, while you always have to do the boring things. And so yeah, so don't take it personally that your future child is going to have a bit of a negative view on you, because it's actually a good thing, because well, you will be doing the right thing. Like, you will make sure that they go to bed on time. You will make sure that they do their homework. You will make sure that they do all the things that they have to do, and so you will be a good parent. But children don't always see that as a positive thing, because they don't see how it actually is good for them in the long run. And so, but I think they will grow out of this at some point. Like, they won't see you as a party pooper forever. Like, but yeah, so I'll shuffle the cards and see what your future child, how your future child will perceive you. Group number 2. Page of Wands. So I think your future child is going to see you as someone who works really hard. Like, you're always doing something. Like this person in the picture, I don't know if he's what he's doing, but he's doing something that seems to be quite demanding of him, or yeah. So I think your future child is going to see you as someone who is always doing things. You're always on the move. You're always doing something practical. like you have, and I think it's mostly because all of the burden will be on you, so you will have a lot of things to do during the day, and you will be doing the and again I put the blame on your future partner, because I must say that this person, I'm not really liking the idea that this person just puts every boring thing on you, that like you have to take care of all the boring things while your future partner is just out there doing all the fun things, and it's like you're doing the dishes while your partner is playing with the child. And of course, that's like I feel like your future child actually will have I'm sensing that they will feel that you weren't that much around in their childhood, which is not true. Like you were always around, like in the future. But I think it's because you never did the fun things. All the fun memories are more present, will be more present in their mind in the future, and all those fun memories were memories they shared with the other parent. And it's really unfair. I also feel like you will probably have a very demanding job in the future that will demand a lot of your time, and so but I don't think it's actually going to affect your family life. I think you will be good at balancing your family life and your job. But I think your future child is maybe also going to feel like you will be busy with a lot of things that they don't quite understand why you are doing those things, and that's probably also something that will be where your future child will be corrupted by your future partner, because your future partner is likely going to be the type of person who will say, what's the point in vacuuming the floor if it's just going to be dirty the next day, and so what's the point? Or why like I think and so if you do those things, like if you vacuum the floor, your future child is going to think like you're busy doing something that's actually not necessary. But it is necessary, and you feel like it's necessary. But your future child is very likely going to side with your future partner, and they will become kind of like this alliance against you, and it's kind of unfair. But there is this is your firstborn, so I feel like there might be a hope for you if you get a second child, and the second child becomes a girl, because then maybe you can have an alliance with her, and but in a perfect world there shouldn't be any alliances in a family, but but it's not a perfect world, and so. But yeah, I think maybe your firstborn will maybe have more of a relationship with your future partner. Your secondborn is likely going to have more of a relationship with you, and so maybe I'm supposed to ask about this the second child, because I think that might be more positive. So what's your second child going to? How is your second child going to see you? Group number 2. Group number 2's second child. How will group number 2's second child perceive group number 2? Yeah. Okay. 10 of Wands. That makes sense. I think your future child is very likely going to side with you, because even though the Page of Wands came through, and it did look a bit like the same thing, because the Page of Wands did look very busy doing something, but the pages are not the like but it's more I feel like the 10 of Wands, that's more like your future child, your second child is going to see how you are doing all the work, that you are struggling with all this work by yourself while also having a monkey on your back, so like getting criticized even though you're doing everything. And so I think your second child is going to see how unfair the workload is being balanced between the people who should be actually sharing the load. But so yeah, I think your second child is going to see the unfairness going on. So yeah, and it's why I was talking about the page. I want to find the page because I want to compare them, but if I can't find them right now, it doesn't really matter, because I'm not going to go through the whole I'm not going to waste too much time on this, because it's a very small point that I'm trying to make, and it's not really that important. But my sorry that this is taking so long. It's always the last card when you look for a card. It's always the last one, so that it's. But here it is. So it wasn't the completely. So okay. Yeah, you can see these cards are similar because both of them are hard workers, but you can see how this person is doing something that, like, they are busy doing something, but as you can see on the card, I don't know what this person is doing. You probably don't know what this person is doing. They are doing something with a stick inside, like, a boiling pot of water, and something is like, who knows? Who knows what he's doing? And that kind of makes me. It kind of makes sense, because I think your firstborn will see you being busy doing things that they don't understand, and so that you're just being busy just for the sake of being busy, that you're not really doing anything, that you're just doing something unnecessary and being busy doing it, or acting busy doing it. And this card is someone who's actually busy doing something where it's obvious she's taking groceries into the house, and so it's obvious what she's doing, and it's also obvious that she's doing it on her own and she's struggling with it, and it would help a lot if she had help with it, and if people weren't constantly getting in her way, she would also be more effective doing it. If there wasn't like a monkey grabbing onto the carrots while she's like carrying them inside, and then losing the carrots because the monkey is throwing them on the floor. And so it will be more obvious for your second child that you are that you are very, very busy doing something where your future partner and your firstborn is constantly getting in your way of actually doing the chores that you're supposed, or that you have put on yourself because no one else is helping you with it. So yeah, there's more hope for the second child, and it doesn't have to be a girl. The second child, it could also be a boy who's just more clear-sighted in seeing what's actually going on. And maybe it's always like maybe it always takes like the fourth person to like, because you only need one person to break up an alliance. Like if two people are going against one person and then one other person gets in the mix, it is very likely that the alliance will break because of the number of people. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. So yeah. And so what else? How will your second child perceive you? Group number 2. Anything more? Oh, the lovers. I think your second child is going to see you as very, very affectionate, very loving, very caring, and maybe your second child will feel like you deserve a better partner, and so maybe, like, even though it's their dad, I think your second child will be very critical of their dad, because of the way they treat you, and so it will be kind of a puzzle to them. Like they will be puzzled by why you actually chose their dad to begin with. And 2 of Wands. So I'm also getting that your second child is going to see you as like the person behind the scenes, and they will appreciate you for it. And so I think, okay, I don't want this to be like about, oh, the second child it's a good it's I'm not. You shouldn't have a favorite, and I shouldn't have a favorite. Like, but I do like your second child more than your first child, and I'm allowed to say it because I'm not the children's mother, or in close family to them. But yeah, it's immoral to say that, I know. But I think the second child is likely going to be a bit brighter than the first child. I shouldn't have said that, but I think it's not that they are brighter, but they are brighter in certain ways. Because I think your firstborn is going to see you as a party pooper, because you never attend, like you will never attend the parties. You will be the one organizing everything and being behind the scenes, doing all the things so that everything is perfect. So that you are the one creating the memories, but you're not a part of the memories, because you're always in the background, making sure that everything is actually going as they as you planned them to. But your second child is going to see how you're actually the one creating these memories. You're actually the one planning the birthday parties, making all the arrangements, planning it out, calling the whatever, and like just planning everything. And you're the one getting the birthday cake. You're the one calling the day before, or a week before, or a month before, so that it's a perfect birthday cake. And you're going to make sure that everything is perfect. And your second child is going to see the effort that you actually make into creating these wonderful memories. And you are also going to be the one planning the vacations, planning them out day by day, what you're going to do one day, next day. You're going to think of all the fun things, and you're really good at thinking as a child as well. Even though you're a serious person, and you're going to be a serious mother, you're going to be the one that your children is going to go confide in with their problems. And because you're a good problem solver, you're good at being practical, and being you have that serious side that's very important for a child, to know that there's someone serious that they can go to if they have a serious problem that they need fixed. And so, but you are good at thinking like a child as well, and so and that comes through in your planning. You can see how your children will love to go on certain vacations. You think, when you plan a vacation, you will think like a child. What's fun for a child? What would a child want to do? You would never plan a vacation where it's just museums every day, and boring things every day. You actually have that ability to think, what would be really exciting and fun to do for my children. And your second child will see how you are actually the one creating the fun memories, but and your future partner is not going to be around the planning part of it. They won't be the one planning to go to Disneyland, but they will be very fun and exciting while being in Disneyland, because they will be like going on roller coasters with the children and playing around and doing fun things, and you will probably be in the background, because you don't get maybe you don't get excited but your partner will get equally excited about those things as the children. But maybe maybe you won't, like, you would rather just stay on the ground while your future partner goes on a roller coaster with the children. You would rather just be in the background, making sure that everything is for instance, like, you're probably the type who will hold the bags while the others go on roller coasters. Like, you will make sure that all your belongings are you will watch the belongings while your family will have fun on a roller coaster, because you would want to sacrifice that because it's maybe you feel like it's not that fun for you to do that, but you get excited for your children's for the behalf of your children, if that makes sense. So even though you're not in all the memories, like you're not in all the pictures, because you're taking the pictures, that's also a thing. Like, we have that fun. It's a weird thing, because like many of us have like most of our memories, the memories that we have of our childhood is the memories that we've seen through photographs, like by looking through an album, and a family album, and seeing, oh yeah, we were in Disneyland, that was really fun. But you, if you were the photographer always taking the pictures, you were not on any of the pictures, but you were there, taking, and you sacrificed because you thought, like, you didn't have to be on the pictures, because, like, why? And so it's so I feel like your second child is going to be very aware of that, of the fact that you actually were the one creating all the memories, even though you weren't on the photographs or in all the like, or on the roller coasters, or on or doing all the things. You were in the background, taking the pictures, making sure that the your belongings didn't get stolen, and making sure that everything was in order. And yeah, so yeah, but your second child will be very aware of this. Your first child will have some resentment because they don't really get it, and it's your first child, like, nothing wrong with him or her or whatever, but it's just like, maybe it's because they will get corrupted from a very early age, from their dad saying, like, oh, you're such a party pooper, and so I don't know. I think it might be because your first child. Okay, so your first child is not going to be less smart than the second one. It's just that I think they will be easily affected by other people and by the people that they look up to, and they will look up to their dad more than you, because they will likely be a boy, and so their role model, his role model will be his dad, and so it's just the natural order of things, and so I don't know, but that's all I have for you. Group number 2. I hope this reading was helpful in any way. And if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose this, the Hermetic Tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. So, okay, group number 3, the people who will choose group number 3. How will group number 3's future child perceive group number 3? Oh, there's a lot of love here, so that's very positive. I'm getting like a warm feeling, like so I think your future child is actually going to have very, very warm feelings towards you. They will feel very, very close to you. And I'm also getting something about gratitude. Like they will feel grateful that they have you, but I'm also getting that it's because of the gratefulness that you have towards others, and I think they will also see you as a very grateful person. Like you don't take anything for granted. You're good at thanking people, and maybe also the universe and your God and whoever, for the blessings that you get. I'm also sensing that your future child is going to perceive you as very spiritual. Like you will be very open about your spirituality. You will be open about the importance of affirmations and the importance of showing gratitude to the world and to the universe and to God and to the people around you, and making sure that the people around you know that you actually are grateful to have them in your life. And yeah, I'm sensing that you will show your future child how to be a very kind person. You will give that to your child. Like you will like your child will inherit that from you. They will see you. I think your future child is actually going to see you as a very positive person, maybe even a bit too positive. And like I think you will raise your child in believing in the good in people, and believing that they deserve to be treated kindly, but they also have to treat others kindly, and that it's and that other people deserve the same kindness. That's what I mean. That we I think you will like raise your child to be very kind to others, and very like your future child would never bully anyone. Like you will really raise your future child right. Like they will be the one on the playground asking the loner child if they want to play with them, or like like they will be kind to everyone, and like if they see someone bully another person, they would grab onto that person who is being bullied and take them under their wing and play with them and make them their best friend. Like this is not the type of person who would confront the bully or anything, because there never comes anything good out of that. But like this person will, like your future child will be very very inclusive, very yeah, you will raise them right, and they will, like when they grow up, when they become an adult, they will really thank you for it, for raising them that way, raising them to be an inclusive person, someone who's not like an like individualistic, and it will be very rare, and it is rare right now, like that people are usually just thinking about themselves, and so raising a child to think of others before themselves is very rare and special, and so yeah, I think your future child is going to look up to you as a role model. They will see you as very forgiving, very like you, and very supportive of everything they do. Like they will feel like you will give them the freedom to become whoever they want to be. They will feel very, very loved by you, and it's very like unconditional love that you will give to your future child, where they will feel like whatever they do, you will still love them, and so they will see you as very tolerant, very maybe to the point where you can't actually see anything bad, and in them, like you can't. It's like you will be your future child's number one fan. And it doesn't matter what they do, or you'll just support them anyway. If they like. So yeah. Judgment reversed. So that makes sense. Your future child is going to see you as someone who has no judgment towards them whatsoever. They will feel like they couldn't do anything so bad that you would judge them for it. Like there is no such thing. You would always understand them and understand why they did it, like or you would try to understand them, like you wouldn't just judge them without understanding their side of the story. So yeah, I think your future child is going to see you as very as like not prejudiced, without prejudice. Sorry, and very tolerant, very unjudgmental, and very positive. And optimistic, like you're going to see solutions instead of obstacles. Like you'll see every obstacle as a blessing. Like you like the like no sailor has become a good sailor by sailing on calm waters. Like calm waters have never created a good sailor, or how, I don't know how that phrase goes, but I think your future child is going to see you as someone who sees obstacles as learning experiences. Like if your child comes up to you with a problem, you see it as like an opportunity to learn, to teach your child something, or I don't know. And like I think your future child will also like the fact that you believe that you believe that everything happens for a reason. That if your child ends up in like a bad situation, you are good at comforting them and saying like, but there was a reason for it. It's it's a part of a greater plan. That and yeah, so I think your future child is going to look up to you, but they will also follow in your footsteps. Like whatever you do for a living, I think your future child might end up doing the same thing when they grow up. And it's because they see you as they will see you as a role model to them. They will see, so they will aspire to become like you. So it's very positive. Your future child will have very high thoughts about you. Yeah, and with the Ace of Swords, I think your future child is going to see you as very, very smart. Maybe even to the point where they will see you as actually brilliant. And of course, this is an ace, and so it kind of makes me think that your future child might see you as someone who had a very great potential, but didn't really live that you didn't that you're not going to live your full potential in the future. That your future child will feel like you could have done more with your life, like you could have done more with your career. You could have become famous. You could have become a successful author, or become a successful a successful author. That's what's coming through. But maybe you will choose not to do that in the future, because maybe you will realize that there are more important things in life. Maybe the fact that you'll get a child might postpone this dream of yours to become a great author, if that's your dream. But that doesn't, like, I think it's more that your future child will maybe feel like they got in the way of you actually becoming a success, which is but I don't think it's necessarily something that they will hold on to for a long time, that thought of them being the reason why. But yeah, so it is likely that maybe your future child is going to be someone like you might get pregnant and maybe it's not going to be planned, like it might be something that will just happen, and then you will realize that was meant to happen, that it was all divine timing, and maybe it's like you never get too old to become an author. Like you can always become an author in your 50s or in your 60s. Many great authors didn't actually start writing before they became like 50. So like it's very natural that authors find the time to write when their child has like moved away and has become an adult, and then they feel like, oh, I have all the time in the world, now I can write. And I think that's very likely going to happen for you. I don't know, but I think so. So yeah, I think if you want to be a writer, I think you will be it, but maybe when you are older, and I think you will be happy with just being a mother or a father until you get the time to, and I think you will focus on on being a parent, and I think that will be a calling for you. Like you will feel that it's a calling, that it's very an important part of your life, and that it's more important than writing a book, because you can always write a book, but you can't always get a child. That's something that you can only do in a certain time, within a certain time frame. So yeah, prioritizing a child first is a good priority. It's because so but I think your future child is going to pick up on the fact that maybe that you should be a brilliant author, that you should do something greater with your life, that it's a waste that you're, but I think they will realize that it was that it I don't know, but yeah, your future child is going to have high thoughts of you. They will see you as someone who deserves success and recognition for your brilliancy, or whatever, how you say that. But brilliance, I think, just brilliance. Sorry, but. But yeah, 5 of Pentacles reversed. So yeah, I think when it's when 5 of Pentacles is upright, it's about being excluded from something, like being an outsider looking into a church in the Rider-Waite. It's 2 people outside a church looking in, but they are not a part of, like they can't come into the warmth within the church. They are like outsiders, and so when it's reversed, I think your future child is going to see you as, again, someone very inclusive. So not only will you teach your child to be inclusive towards others and helping people getting bullied and helping people who aren't that as fortunate as themselves and stuff like that. But your future child is also going to see you as a very inclusive person, someone who maybe in the future you will have like a house that's very open to people just coming in, and just like you will have people stay over at your place if they don't have a place to stay. Like you will be very welcoming and very have like hospitality. Like you will have that. I don't know why I thought of like southern hospitality, but maybe you are from the south. I don't know, but maybe you were raised there, or maybe you just have that mentality where you feel like your house is open to everyone who wants to come and stay, and maybe you're not that way right now, and maybe you feel like that doesn't resonate with you. But I think in the future, when you have children, or just one child, I don't know, I feel like maybe you will have only one child, but maybe there's more. I'm not completely sure, but I think you will have, like, when your child will never feel like they can't have children over to play with them in your house. Like you will just tell your future child that they can just take whoever and with them home, and you don't care. Like and that's a very rare thing, and that's something I didn't grow up with. Especially my dad was very was very hostile towards my childhood friends. Like I couldn't just have anyone come over to play, and so it's like it's a very beautiful thing when a parent just tells their child that that the house is open for friends and everyone to come over, and there's no boundaries. Everyone can just and so I think that's going to create a very harmonious household where everyone feels welcome. Everyone feels like they can just drop in. And I'm also sensing that your future child, the friends of your future child, like your future child's friends, are going to love your place. Like your place is going to be their go-to place when they want to play after school, because they feel so welcome at your place. I'm sensing that like your future home is not going to be like a rich home where everything is like grand and everything is like perfect and new and stuff like that. It will be more. It will be more. Like people will feel like it's a place where they can actually live and breathe. And so I'm also sensing that there will be a lot of rich children who will come to your house and play, because at your house they are actually allowed to sit on the furniture, while maybe they aren't allowed to do that at home because everything has to be perfect and look presentable. And whereas I think your future house is going to be a bit more like you won't bother, like it won't bother you if there's a bit of a mess, like after children. Like I think you will like that your house looks like a house that people live in, like that there is like a sign of life. Like you can see the toys on the ground, and that like, and it makes the house seem more alive and also more welcoming, because it's like people won't feel like they can't breathe in your house because your house is more alive. I don't know. And so yeah, I think your future child will love that about you, that you're not going to be like you're going to be so positive about everything, and you're just going to say like, oh, it doesn't matter if someone breaks something, you just say, well, it wasn't that expensive anyways. It's going to be fine. We don't have to call your mother and tell her about it because it's not that big of a deal. Like if your future child's friend breaks something at your house, like you will be the cool mom, like the mom that everyone else in the neighborhood would wish they had. Like everyone, I think your future child will feel like everyone in the neighborhood envies them because your future child has such a great and cool mother who's just cool about everything. And like and I think, yeah, I think you will have like this free spirit kind of mentality where maybe you will have a bit of a hippie home where people are allowed to do things that they aren't allowed to do at home because you're the cool mom. And yeah, I think your future child is actually going to appreciate it a lot. And even when they get into adulthood, they will still look back and think like, oh, I had the cool mom. And that's rare, because sometimes when we become adults, we start thinking, oh, but that wasn't, maybe that wasn't that good. Maybe it would have been better if there had been some boundaries. But I don't think your future child is actually going to think that way. I think they will keep looking back at their childhood and think that was how it should have been. Like, that was perfect as it was. So yeah, very, very positive reading. So yeah. So yeah, that's all I have for you, group number 3. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. Hello, group number 4. You chose the Ring Cycle Tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. So, okay, group number 4. The people who will choose group number 4. How will group number 4's future child perceive group number 4? How will group number 4's future child perceive group number 4? I think your future child is going to see someone who see you as someone who's a fighter, someone very tough and strong, and this kind of makes me think that I think some of you, if not all of you, will have some kind of medical obstacle, or not like something that something like an illness. I don't want to freak any of you out, but I think some of you already have that illness right now, and so it doesn't really come as a shock to you, because it's something you have already struggled with, like a chronic illness. Like, I don't know exactly what it could be, like, but you might have been born with it, or it might have been something you have had for a few years now, or maybe it started in your childhood, and so it's something that you have. I think most of you already suffer from this, and it's already affecting your life in some way, but you're making the most of it. And I think you will be doing that too in the future. Like, you will make the most of it. It's there. It's a bummer that you have it, and it's annoying and frustrating. But you will, like, there's nothing to do about it. So it's you. I am sensing that it's some kind of illness that there's no treatment for. It's just something you have to live with. If this doesn't resonate with you, it's maybe it will come in the future, but it's not like you shouldn't be alarmed by it, because I'm not sensing that it's like this very, very horrible thing. It's like a like you're not going to be horribly sick by it. It's more a condition that you just have to live with. Like certain things, you will just have to live with the fact that there are certain things that you can't do, but there's a lot of other things that you can do. And so like it could be something like diabetes or or some kind of like a chronic illness like arthritis or like chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia. I never know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry, but I'm just sensing that it's something. It's very, very bothersome, and it can make your life very difficult sometimes. But I think you will be able to just you will find a way to just cope with it and live with it, and it will be a part of your life, but you won't let it affect your life. And I think that's what I'm picking up on from your future child, that your future child is going to see you as very strong and like very because you won't let it affect your life. Like they will see that you have something that you struggle with, something that you that makes your life a bit more difficult than other people's lives, but you make the most of it, and you don't let, and you still manage to do all the things that you're supposed to do as and that's something I'm sensing when you become a parent. You won't let this illness or condition affect your parenthood. Like you will still force yourself to do the things that you believe your child deserves. Like you will go out and play with them in a park, even though it might make you very tired afterwards, you still do it, even though there might be a backlash afterwards. And so I'm and I think your future child is going to see you as a very big inspiration to them, because they will feel like they can do anything. If you can do anything, they can do anything, because they are healthy and don't have anything that they are suffering from. So they will feel like, well, that they will feel like they can't complain about the things, or they will feel like it's not like they feel like they can't complain to you. I think they still feel like they can come to you if they have an issue, or if there's something that if they have an illness or something, they would go to you and talk to you about it. So it's not like they can't, they will, but they will feel like their problems are not that big, because they always think like if you can do it, then they can do it. Like and that will be something they will take with them when they go into adulthood. Like they will still have that feeling that they should just be grateful that they are healthy and don't have anything that they are struggling with in terms of their health. and so yeah, I think you will be a very great inspiration. There is maybe you should make it like this does happen sometimes, like sometimes when my mother has suffered from various medical conditions, and like not medical conditions, that's not the right word for it, but like she has had like a bad back, like a discus prolapse in the back and or in the neck, and like she has like an injury in her knee, and like she has all of these things, and she has also a condition, a bladder condition that she struggles with, and so she has had a lot of things that she has struggled with throughout the years, and when you struggle with that many things, you like when I was sorry, I'm not being very clear right now. I'm very sorry. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. But when I was younger, I didn't really feel like my mother took me very seriously when I came to her with certain certain things that I was struggling with my body, like if I had an ache somewhere, because she had so many things herself that she was suffering from, and so she just felt like I should just be grateful that it was just like an ache in my neck, or just but like I always felt like I didn't really have the right to complain about my health or about my body aching, and I don't think my mom actually intended that to happen, but it just kind of happened, and so I don't think she thought so much about it while it was happening, but so maybe pay attention to that in the future when you have a child, that like make sure that your child feels that they are actually allowed to complain about their body aching, or about feeling unwell and stuff like that. That it's don't what's the word for it? Not patronize, but like a milder word for it. Like don't undermine it if they come with some. Okay, undermine is a stronger word actually, but like don't make them feel like they are that they don't have the right to complain about. But I don't think you will. But sometimes we don't realize that we like just think about it when in the future when it's relevant. But like take your child seriously if they come to you with some medical condition or some concerns about their health. And maybe actually, like sometimes we, maybe my mother didn't really want to take me seriously, maybe because she didn't want me to suffer from the same that she had suffered from. And so maybe it wasn't really because she felt like, oh, I shouldn't complain because I wasn't that, because I didn't have anything to complain about, blah, blah, blah. But maybe it was just because she couldn't really handle the fact that maybe she even that maybe I inherited it from her. Like if my neck was aching and she had a discus prolapse in the neck, then maybe she thought like, oh, well, maybe she got that from me, or like, but I don't know. That was like just a rambling. I'm sorry, but yeah, I don't think your future child is going to feel that way though. But just in case, just to be completely sure that they don't, then try to think about it and try to maybe create a safe space for them to actually be able to talk about their health without it being a taboo subject in some way. But I think I'm sensing that your future child is going to see you as like a very strong person and a big inspiration for them, because you will be so good at just fighting and trying to live your best life, even though you have some obstacles along the way. But yeah. So yeah, I'm going to ask the cards. So how will group number 4's future child perceive group number 4? I am getting that your future child will feel very loved by you. Like they will also feel like they can confide in you about maybe everything but health. But like if your future child like I'm sensing that your future child might come up to you at some point and tell you something big, like maybe about their sexual orientation or something like that. And but I'm sensing that your future child will feel like they can actually tell you those things, because they know that you will understand them and that you will be tolerant, and that you wouldn't judge them for it. But I am sensing that could be something that could be a situation in the future that but so the Fool reversed. So I am sensing that your future child is going to see you as someone who is a bit hesitant when it comes to trusting other people. I think your future child will see you as a bit withdrawn, or a bit shy, or maybe like introverted, and so I think your future child will see you as like someone who, like, even though you're a very strong person, like you fight through, like if any obstacle comes along, you just adapt to it and make the most of it. But it's like when it comes to social things, you don't really have the same fighting spirit. Like you don't fight that much for being social and going out and putting yourself out there, and so I think your future child will feel like they would want you to have that fighting spirit in social situations as well, like that you're maybe holding yourself back because of maybe some insecurities, or maybe because I don't know, but I think I think your future child will feel like it's a shame that you don't share yourself with others, because I think your future child will actually really like you. Like you will be very close to your future child, and you will have a very close bond, and but it's like your future child would want you to. They would want other people to see the same person that they see. Maybe there is something I'm sensing here, that your future child will feel like you're a bit misunderstood by others. Like when you get like in the future, when your future child will have friends over to your house, I think their friends will not see you the way that they see you. So their friends might see you as a bit serious, and maybe a bit maybe even to the point where you might scare them a little bit. Maybe you have a resting bitch face, or probably not. I don't know. It was just a thought that came up right now, but I'm not really. I just think there's something. There is, like, people will pick up on some hostility from you, and it's very misunderstood, and your future child will know that it's a misunderstanding, because when you are alone with your future child, you're this fun person, like you're fun and cracking jokes, and I actually think your future child will see you as quite hilarious, actually, because you have a very great sense of humor, and also a bit of a dark sense of humor. Like you can make fun of even like bad situations, and maybe you also make fun of like your medical condition, or like you make fun of the things that are hard and difficult, kind of to make like a light feeling, or I don't know, but I think your future child will feel like they are the only one, or maybe your future partner as well. I don't feel, for some reason, I don't feel like your future partner is that much in the picture, and I hate to say that, but it's they are there. Like the partner is there, but it's like in the background. I'm not really sensing that much from that person. I'm not really getting that much information about your future partner. But so either they are just in the background doing nothing, or you will get a divorce in the future. I hope not, but but maybe that's actually good, because maybe it's better to be a single mom than to be with someone who's always just in the background doing nothing. But yeah, I'm sensing that your future child will feel like they are the only person that actually see the real you, the fun you, the sarcastic version of you, where you crack jokes and they would want other people to experience that too. I'm actually sensing one thing, and it's quite an interesting thing. But this is specific for some of you. It's not all of you. But I'm sensing that that you could maybe move to a different country in the future. And so I wouldn't wish that upon you, because my parents moved to a different country when I was 3 years old, and that was not a good idea. That was a disaster, but not necessarily a disaster. I'm glad that they moved. I'm glad that they to live in the country that we live in right now. Of course, I miss I don't miss my old country, because I don't really know about it, because I've never lived there since I was 3. But I think I'm sensing that maybe you in the future you will move to a different country, and so I think your child and you will be talking in your mother tongue, and the child's mother, it's also going to be the child's mother tongue, and so all of your future child's friends will speak a different language, and it will be your second language and your child's second language as well, and so your fun when you're with your child speaking your mother tongue, because we're all a lot more fun when we speak our mother tongue, or when we speak the language that we are used to speaking, or so. So I think there is an explanation for this. So I think you will not be as funny to your future child's friends, because you're speaking in your second language, and it's difficult to communicate clearly. So we focus so much on just communicating clearly that we filter out all the jokes that we would have said. Like, I have this issue myself. I'm not very funny on English, because I'm so focused on just speaking sort of clearly so that you understand some of what I'm saying. But if I had to also think of jokes and cracking jokes all the time, then I wouldn't have the energy to actually do actually speak clearly, and so I would have to prioritize what's most important. Is it most important to just deliver the message, or should I be funny? Sometimes we have to prioritize, and I'm sensing that this could be something you will be dealing with in the future, that maybe you won't be as funny in your second language, and very natural. It happens to all of us, and this is my third language, so I'm I'm much less but yeah. So sorry. But yeah, so but your future child will find you very funny in your mother tongue, and they will experience the funny side of you, the sarcastic side, but they will also see you as very strong and someone who's very adaptable. And that's also one thing, like if you move to a different country, I think your future child will experience like how easy it was for you to adapt to like a new country. And I think that will also rub off on your future child, that they will feel like, okay, so you can adapt, then I shouldn't complain about having a hard time. And that's also a thing. That's also a thing I experienced. Like my parents didn't really think that. I don't want to go into that really. No, that's a story for another day, I think. But yeah, sometimes parents don't take into account how it affects the children, because sometimes we're just so focused on just surviving that we maybe tend to forget how hard it actually is for the children. But I don't think that's going to happen. But in your with your future child, I think you will pay good attention to your child. But I think your future child will feel like, for some reason, they will they will feel that it was harder on you than it was on them, and so they won't be able to complain as much in the future, or they wouldn't feel comfortable complaining to you about the situation, because they will know that it's so much harder on you because you're older, and it's harder to manage the language, and it's harder to get a job, and it's harder to do all those things, and and so they might feel like they don't have the right to complain, but they do, of course, have the right to complain, because you will very likely be the one making that decision to actually move, or your future partner will. But it takes two people to tangle, and so tangle. Maybe there's something. Yeah, so that but it does take two people to tangle as well, even though to tangle things up and make it takes two people to screw things up. That's yeah. And so the blame will not only be on you. I'm sensing that maybe it will actually be your future partner's idea to move. But you will get on the wagon with them, and you will hop on, and possibly because you're maybe because you can see how it's a good idea for the child. Maybe you live in a country right now where there's maybe not that many opportunities, and so if you I'm sensing with the Fool here that the Fool reversed, that I don't think you are the type of person who would just hop up on a plane and just leave your country with a child and have to deal with that whole situation, raising a child in a different country, and there would have to be a very, very good reason for you to actually do that. So maybe it's a practical reason, like because you would want opportunities for your child, or maybe because of because of your medical condition. If you can see that it would be less expensive to live in a different country with maybe free healthcare or just less expensive healthcare, where because maybe you will have to have treatment in the future for your medical condition that will cost a lot of money. And so maybe I think if you move to a different country, it's going to be practical for practical reasons. But it's and I don't think your future child is going to hold a grudge against you because of this. I criticize my parents like all the time for moving away from my mother country, and just for the there really wasn't a reason. It was just for the fun of it, I guess, or I don't know. So but I think your future child is actually going to understand why you had to move, and they won't hold a grudge against you because there actually will be a reason. And that's what I lacked, I guess. I think I would have been more okay with it if I knew that there actually was a solid reason for leaving. So, for leaving all my family behind. I'm going to a funeral. Story time. Sorry, but I'm going to a funeral here. I'm going tomorrow, or leaving tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but the day after that. But I will have to take the train tomorrow. But I'm going to a funeral in my mother country because my grandmother has passed away. I didn't know her. I wish I did, but I didn't because we never visited my mother country, Iceland, when I was growing up. So I never really created that bond with her. I wish I had. She was actually a kind of a psychic herself, and I never. And I'm actually sad that I never actually got to know her, because I think we had a lot in common, and I probably had more in common with her than most others in my family. And so it's sad now she has passed away, and I'm going to a funeral on Monday, and or her funeral will be on Monday, and I of course it's sad to know that I'll never have the opportunity to get to know her. And so it's just my point is I would recommend that, if you consider moving in the future, and even though it's because of practical reasons, that maybe consider not doing that for the sake of your child. If there are any other alternatives, if there aren't any other alternatives, it's just how it is, and you just have to make the most of it. But and make sure to keep your child in contact with the family, and make sure that you actually teach them the mother tongue, so that they can actually communicate with their family members over the phone or whatever, because my parents didn't, and I don't really know how to speak my mother tongue, which I think is a very big shame, because it's always like a stressful factor every time. Like I've only visited my home country, Iceland, 3 times since we moved. When I was 3 years old, we moved when I was 3, and so but every time, even though it hasn't been that many times, but every time it's a stress factor, because I just know that I can't really communicate with them, and that I'm always stressed that how is it going to go now when I'm about to leave to Iceland now? Is it going to be awkward that I can't communicate with them? But yeah. Or I can communicate, but it's not really good, and I understand more than I can speak, because my parents did actually speak to me in Icelandic most of my childhood, but they never forced me to answer in Icelandic, which made my language disappear from my mouth, but not from my ears, and it's a thing where the ears and the mouth do not, like, I can understand everything, I can't speak the language. It's a weird thing, but yeah, if this is going to be relevant for you in the future, I don't know if it's specific for a few of you, but whatever, make sure to keep the mother tongue going. Make sure to force your child into speaking the mother tongue, even though they don't want to, because it's not their choice to make, because they are children and they don't know what's best for them, and you do, and so force them into speaking their mother tongue as much as possible. That's just my advice to you. But maybe it's not going to be relevant, I don't know. That's just something I felt like sharing with you. I don't know, but yeah, this has been such a long reading. Okay, so I have to wrap it up. But yeah, I think that's all I have for you. I think your future child is going to have a positive view on you, and I think they will see you as a fighter, someone who makes the best of a bad situation, but also very funny and sarcastic and has like a dark sense of humor, and they will like that a lot, and they will probably inherit the humor from you. So that's a good thing, the sense of humor. And maybe they will actually use the sense of humor. I'm sensing something now that actually they might bring it to life. Like, you have the sense of humor. You could be a comedian with the sense of humor that you have, but you probably don't want to, because you're an introvert, and maybe you're too shy to actually go into that field. And I get it. I think most of us get it. Like, that's it's a very special kind of person that chooses that field, and it's for the extroverts. And I think your child is going to be kind of an extrovert. So I think your child could actually end up becoming a comedian, and use the sense of humor that they grew up with and that they got from you, and sharing maybe some of the jokes that you have made on a stage in the future. That's just something I'm picking up on. Maybe it's specific for one of you, but yeah, I think that's all I have for you. Group number 4, I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. Hello, group number 5. You chose this Salvador Dali tarot deck. And I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. So, okay, group number 5. The people who will choose group number 5. How will group number 5's future child? I'm already sensing that you will have more than one child. So it's like I corrected it in my head to future children, and so I take that as a sign that it's going to be more than one child. Maybe even maybe even 3 children or more. Maybe 4. So like I'm sensing a lot of children. Not necessarily all of them yours. But like I'm sensing more than one child. But so how will your future children perceive you as a mother? Group number 5. Oh, I was starting with the channeling, but okay, I guess the shuffling started. But I am sensing something here where I think your future children will have a positive view on you, on the way that you are around them, or that you're going to be in the future. And but I am sensing a bit of a dark energy here. It's like a dark cloud. And I'm hearing something about self-sabotaging, that your future children will feel like you get in your own way, that you will miss certain opportunities because you will get in your own way. You will I'm also getting some hesitation, like that you will hesitate to like take a leap of faith, and just do something. Like I'm just feeling like your future children will feel like you're holding yourself back, that you're not doing what you want to do. You're not. I'm also sensing a sad energy here. I hate to say this, but I think at least one of your future children will feel like you never that you don't actually want to be a parent, even though I don't know if that's, but I think they will feel some kind of vibe from you that you would rather do something else, that you're not going to be completely completely content with the situation in the future, that it's not going to be what you had dreamed of, or there's something that's going to be like a disappointment, like not your children, like not that your children will be a disappointment to you, but it's like your children will feel like you are disappointed by how your life ended up, because it wasn't how you envisioned it originally. And it's very, like, I hate bringing this to you because I don't want to, but there might be some advice here that you could learn from, because actually when I think of, like, when I picture your future, I don't actually think it looks that bad. But I think you will be disappointed by it because it wasn't what you expected. But it's going to be fine. And it's maybe all about maybe lowering your expectations, and maybe not that you, like, I don't know if that's bad advice, but I think sometimes we just have to be grateful for what we have. And I think your future children will feel like they would want you to just be grateful for the life that you have with them, and not always think of what you could have done and what you and like and yeah, I think you will have a lot of children, and or that's the energy I'm picking up on. I don't know if that's true, but I'm sensing a lot of children, and it will be a handful. Like it will be very stressful to have to raise so many children. And if you maybe haven't finished an education, for instance, I haven't myself, and I have dropped out of the university, and that's probably a bad priority on my in my life, that and I'm probably going to be regretful in the future when I realize that I focused my energy on YouTube instead of getting an education, and yeah, so if you haven't finished your education, or if you have dropped out of the university, then maybe that's what you will regret in the future, because maybe when you have those children, you will think like, oh, why didn't I just finish that education so that I could have gotten a job that paid a lot more, so that so that I didn't have to take extra shifts at my job every week just to get the ball rolling. And like, I think that it's regrets like that where you will think back and think, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, and like I feel like you will struggle with getting everything to roll as it should in the future, and you, but it's like, I think you will actually manage to get it all done. Like as I said before, when I look at your future, I don't actually think it's that bad. I don't think you will you will have everything you need, and your children will have everything they need. But you and they will have a good life. Your future children will have a good childhood, and they won't have any complaints about their childhood, other than the fact that you never seemed content about it. Like, that's the only complaint they have towards you, or that they will have in the future towards you, is that that you didn't just make most of what you had, that you didn't just accept that that was the situation and that just make the most of it. And I think, like, because, like, you will be able to it will be a fine household, a fine childhood that you can, but I think you will just feel like you should do more, that you can't give your you can't give your children everything, or that's some insecurities that you will have in the future, that that you will feel like it's not enough, that if you just had done something else in the past, then maybe you would have been able to afford more or create a better environment for your children. But your children will not complain. Your children will actually be fine with how the household is, and if they will also grow up to become very grateful people and that's also a thing that you need, like, actually, like, right in the beginning of this reading, I heard something, and it was that, and I didn't really get it at the point, but now I get it. I think I heard that your children will like that it's divinely guided. Like I heard, I don't really remember what I heard, but I heard something like everything happens for a reason. Yeah, I think that was exactly what I heard. Like, everything happens for a reason. So I think there was a reason why you dropped out, if you have dropped out of the university, or if you're going to, like, there's a reason for it, because maybe your children are not supposed to grow up in a rich environment. Maybe that wouldn't have, maybe they wouldn't have become, like, in the future they have to become certain people, and maybe they hadn't become those people if you had a higher income, like, if that makes sense. So like, there's also, like, if you had more money, like, then your future children would have been spoiled, and they would have wouldn't have taken, like, they would have taken everything for granted. They would have been entitled and privileged people, and it wouldn't have done them very good. But because your future children will grow up in a limited household where money is something, like, there's enough money to live and have a good life, but there's not a lot of money to to spare, like there's not spare money to use on luxuries and unnecessary things. And that's also fine, because it will teach your children that the value of money, that money is not something that grows on trees, that they have to work for it, and that they should hold on to it and not just spend money on stupid things all the time. And so, like, I think it will teach your children a valuable lesson, and it will shape them when they get into adulthood. And it might sound a bit bad right now when you think about it. Like, maybe you wish that in the future you will have live a rich life where you don't where you can buy all the things that you want. And I don't think you want that, but maybe some of you have that dream, a dream to live in more luxury than you're used to. But it's not like it's going to be. It's not going to be a bad thing that this isn't going to happen. Like, it's not. You're going to get other things. Like, you're going to get other values. You're going to have other more valuable things in your life, like grateful children that will be grateful to get a present in like under the Christmas tree, even though it might not be the biggest present ever, and maybe not like the biggest Lego set in the world, but it's fine enough, and they will be just grateful for whatever they get. Like, and they won't be those types of children who starts crying just because they didn't get exactly what they wanted for Christmas. They will be very grateful children, very and they will also be very grateful for whatever you give them. Like, they will, and so the way that they will perceive you in their childhood will be like, they will see you as someone who provides them with whatever they need, and the only thing they would wish for to change, like when they become an adult and look back on their childhood, the only thing they would have changed about their childhood would be that, or change about you would be that they would have wished you had been more content with what you had, and that you didn't feel like you that you didn't feel that bad about not being able to give them everything they wanted. Because they didn't, they will not care. Like, your future children will not. They will understand the situation that you're in, and they will just be grateful for whatever you give them, and they will be most grateful for the love that you give them, and for the. I'm getting a very warm space, like a warm house, very where everything is focused on family values and being there for each other and helping each other. Like, your children will be very helpful children as well. Like, you will raise very polite polite children that will actually ask you if they can help you do the dishes, and like they will come up to you and ask you if there's something they can contribute with, something they can help with, and so and I am sensing that that they might see you as a bit like that they will perceive you as a bit melancholic and maybe a bit depressed. I'm sorry if I'm alarming you, and like I'm sorry to say that, but I think your future children will feel like it's that the depression is rooted in your own insecurities as a mother, that you can't, like that you feel like you're not good enough, that you can't provide enough, that you're not doing enough, and I think that will lead you to feeling bad about yourself and feeling depressed and about the situation, and feeling regretful that you didn't do this and that and that and this, and now you can't provide everything to your children just because you took a left turn where you should have taken a right turn, and really it didn't matter if you had taken the left turn or the right turn. Both paths are equally good. It's just your perception of them. Like, it's how you perceive those outcomes that are the core difference between those two paths. You can be just as happy about taking the wrong turn by just changing your mindset and seeing how, okay, maybe I didn't get a high income job by taking a great education at the time where I had the time for it, but I got something else instead, and what I got is good, and like we never actually know how the alternative had how we don't know if the alternative had been better. Like so we can't really regret taking the wrong turn in life, because we don't know if we had taken the right turn, we might have got hit by a bus. No one knows. So sometimes the wrong turn can actually end up being the right one, and we don't even know it because we don't know what the alternative would have been. But we can, instead of always thinking that the alternative had been so much better, we can change our perspective and think, like, maybe the alternative had been much worse. Maybe if I had finished the education, I would have gotten a great job, and I would have gotten spoiled brat children that would have just been a pain in the ass, and we wouldn't know, maybe, so sometimes but yeah, so I think my advice to you would be to always think that maybe the alternative had been much worse, instead of thinking that the alternative had been better, because we don't know. And so we always win by thinking that we took the right turn. And so if that makes sense. So yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Seven of Cups. I think your future children. This is the daydreamer card. The person who's constantly fantasizing, thinking of like dreaming themselves to a different place, mostly because they aren't content with the place that they are actually in. And so I feel like your future children will see you as this dreamer type who always dreams about, oh, maybe it would be maybe our lives would be better if we lived in the other end of the country. Maybe it would be better if we did this or that, but instead of just making the most of the situation that you're in. And sometimes when we don't feel at home in our home, sometimes we feel like the solution is to change our to our surroundings, like moving to a different home, so that maybe we can make that feel more at home. But sometimes we just need to be content with what we have, so that we can actually make our home, the one we have, feel at home by doing something that, like, by trying to find solutions to actually make our home feel more at home. Like, if that makes sense, like trying to create our life instead of just reacting to the to whatever life is throwing at us. Then, like, sometimes it's better to start seeing ourselves as the creator. We create our environment. We make the most of it. If we are unhappy about our situation, we could either just try to change our situation, like try to either adapt to it and see and try changing the mindset and see the positive things in the situation we are in, or we can try to see if, like, for instance, sometimes it's a small solutions. Like, I know this is, but like if we feel like our home is very cold and not very inviting, we can try to make it feel more at home. Like, physically, I'm being very, like, but yes, like going to a thrift store and buying some paintings that we like, or buying some and it doesn't have to be like expensive stuff. Like, it can be like very, very inexpensive things, small things that we can buy used, and try to, like, create a very an environment that we are happy with, that we feel like, okay, I like living here, and I know that's like that's just one, but that's the only example that I could think of. But try to make the most of it. Don't like my dad was never actually content with, like, when my parents got divorced. My father moved to an apartment, and he wasn't content with that at all, and he didn't like it. He was always thinking that he was going to move away, but he kept living there for many, many years, and but he never really bothered to make it a home. Like, like me and my brother, we didn't have our own room, so we had to sleep in in the living room on mattresses. But there was actually a spare room that could have been changed into a children's room that we could have shared still, but because there wasn't that many rooms. But it was a two bedroom apartment and then a living room. But the one bedroom was used by my father, and the other one was used for storage. And my father never, like, it was actually just a room filled with boxes that he didn't actually bother to unpack when he moved into the apartment. And he was always going to do it, but he never did. And so we lived in the living room on mattresses, and we didn't have our own room, and we didn't sleep in our own room. We slept in the living room, and like the whole situation was just like my father saw it as like just temporary. So he never really felt like it made sense to try to change anything, or to make anything better, to make the situation better. He was just annoyed by the whole situation that he had to live in that apartment, even though it was him who actually asked for the divorce, but whatever. But he was very incontent or not content with the situation, and so like he also didn't have curtains anywhere on the windows, so that and we were like, it was the apartment was quite high up, like 4 floors up, so on the 4th floor, and so there was a lot of sunlight that came into especially the living room where we slept, and so we were always we always woke up with the sun shining in our eyes, and it was very, very bothersome. But my father never really bothered to actually hang curtains up, because he never like he never tried to make it livable, because he didn't want to live there. And so of course, if he didn't want to live there, he wouldn't want to make it livable. And so my advice to you, to not do the same mistake as my dad did. I don't think you will, but if so, then if you move to a place in the future with your children, and you don't really like the place, but you have to move there because it's cheap and so it's what you can afford, and if you're not content with it, then try to, instead of just giving up and just saying this is some shit and I'm not going to try to make it any better because I don't like it here, so I'm never going to like it, so whatever I do, like it won't change anything. If you ever have that thought, then like try to think about your children, try to make the most of it, try to and also for yourself, try to see if you can actually transform this place that you might not be that happy with into a place that you could actually maybe even end up being happy with, like by just making it nicer, hanging some curtains up, making sure that it's like change it into a good place, like make it a good environment, and so yeah, that's just yeah. So the other card is 8 Eight of Swords. And so, yeah, I think your future children will very likely think that you they will see you as someone who gets in, like that you get in your own way, that you you don't see what you have, like you don't that you're not grateful for what you have, and that you will, that they will feel like you're always dreaming yourself away to a better life, instead of just changing your mindset and realizing that the life that you have is actually quite fine, and it's maybe really all that you wished for. Because if you had gotten what you actually wished for, I don't think you would have been more happy. So yeah, like you can see this woman here. She's quite sad, quite and yeah, you can see how there's like this castle like on top of her head, and like it's like it kind of makes me think of like a thought bubble, like up on top of her head, like that she's like thinking of living in this great house, and it's kind of making her depressed that she's not there, but she's just here, but she's holding her child here, or you can't see it, but it's maybe not, but that's how I see it right now, that she's holding her child and dreaming about this while holding her child, and maybe she just needs to be present in this wonderful moment that is like priceless moment between mother and child. And if you're a male, it's like father and child, it's the same thing, but it's yeah, it's just about cherishing the moment and not letting your thoughts become a shadow over the present moment that you're living in right now, that you're not letting your thoughts get in the way of you enjoying the life that you have. And so sometimes it's the small things in life that give life meaning. And sometimes we believe that we have to accomplish a lot of things in our lives, or in our life, and we don't. Sometimes we are actually more like sometimes the simple life is more suited for us. It's where we can just focus all our energy on our relationships with the people that are important to us, like our children. And sometimes fame and fortune is just like it's not for everyone, and it shouldn't be, and like yeah. So also like if you're very into law of attraction, and if you're very into like writing down your dreams and what you would want to do in the future, I'm not trying to lecture you on this, but maybe don't do that so much, because sometimes we need to be careful what we wish for, and sometimes we can wish a lot of things, and that's okay, but sometimes we're not able to see what's actually good for us, and so that's why it's up to God or the universe or whatever, and it's up to a higher power to know what's best for us, because we are not we're not objective. We have a subjective look on our life, and we can't see what we actually need, what would make us happy, because also we don't know what we wish for until we get it. Then we realize that was all we always wanted to have, and so I think God has a plan for you, and it might be very, very different from the plan that you have in your head, but if the plan that you had in your head actually came true, like if your wishes came true, it could end up disastrous, because you don't see the future. You don't see how certain things could actually end up being bad for you in the long run, and like if you got fame and fortune and a rich life, maybe you wouldn't be able to handle it yourself. Maybe you would regret that too, if you put your face out there and became a public figure. Maybe that would be so stressful to you that that you wouldn't be able to handle that life. And so it's like everything happens for a reason, and don't regret taking the wrong turn in life, because the wrong turn is the right turn. There was a reason, or there will be a reason for whatever you do in life, and so yeah, don't be so bothered about what you don't have, but think about what you do have and be grateful for that. And I don't have to keep repeating that, because I think you already know that, and yeah, but that's all I have for you, group number 5. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye.